Hi, I'm your host, Dr. Lori, and welcome to Universally Unique, exploring the neurodiverse world of the extraordinary. This podcast fosters curiosity and understanding about neurodiversity while empowering individuals with tools for acceptance and inclusion in classrooms, the workplace, and communities. Featuring shared stories of neurodiverse life experiences, it sheds light on navigating a world not designed for diversity. Universally Unique starts now. Hi, this is Dr. Lori, and this is Universally Unique. Today, my guest is Hilary Paden. And before we get started in finding out about Hilary, we are going to take 3 breaths as we do in all of our sessions. And we'll do 3 box breaths. And what we're going to do is you're going to breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4. And I'll count the 3 breaths, but you pace yourself in whatever way works best for you. So breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, and we're done. 3 breaths. That's all it should take for you to feel a little bit less nervous system overload. So, Hilary, if you would tell us about your journey as an individual who is neurodiverse. So you can kind of give us whatever you feel is the right version of that. Maybe leave out the parts that you think maybe aren't super important. And I know some of your knowledge of your neurodiversity has come in adulthood. So I'm suspecting some of your school experiences may have contributed to you recognizing this, but no one recognized that you were.
So I actually did really good in school. Like throughout all of school, I could always stay on topic. I could always stay focused. I got my work done. I never had any issues with that. It really wasn't until adulthood, like I'd say probably within the last 5 or 6 years, where I truly started to notice some of these things. And what really brought it to light, and don't laugh, was TikTok. During COVID and everything, people were putting on videos and everything. And I'm a TikToker. I like to scroll. I like to watch the videos. And people were posting about ADHD. And they were posting symptoms of ADHD. And it all started to like click and line up. And I'm like, I think I have that. I do have moments where I can be extremely hyper, but I can also have moments where I can be extremely angry. I have noticed that there have been times where I do want that instant gratification of emotionally shopping. That is not healthy. That's not a good coping mechanism. So I've tried to get around that. And then I've discovered that I hyperfixate on certain things as well. There are items that I love that I want to have. Like I love office supplies. I love books. I love shoes. I love Stanleys. Like these are some of the hyperfixation. So and when I want one, I start to go and look at them, and then I draw back and I go, you really don't need it. This is how many you have. Like you have enough of this, you have enough of that. But honestly, like you can never have enough office supplies. I
have to agree with you there. Yeah.
I've also noticed too that my brain does not let me start working on stuff if I know I don't have a lot of time to complete it, because I don't like starting something and not being able to finish it because it just throws me out of sorts. Or if I'm working on something and I'm really focused on it and I get interrupted, it can kind of throw me into a mood. So I try to get around that, but I don't always get around that because of my job.
Okay. So if you need to really get something done, do you have strategies to sort of keep folks from interrupting you, or is that something that is very difficult to control?
So I've learned that if I need to get something done and like someone, I'll shut the door to my office, and if someone comes, they'll come in. I'll be like, listen, I can give you like 5 minutes because I need to get this done right now. Or if they come in, they'll knock. I let them in, and if I'm in the middle of something, I'll be like, hold on, just give me 1 second. I have to finish this. If I don't finish it, then I'm not going to be able to finish it. And people are pretty understanding for it.
Okay. I could you explain a little bit the work that you do, which then explains why you get interrupted a lot?
So I am a residential director. I have 7 group homes. I have 6 managers. All the people who I support, they have a diagnosis of intellectual disabilities. So there are times when, as I call it, stuff starts popping off where I'm having issues with staff. I'm having an issue with a person supported. I'm having an issue with a vehicle, whatever it may be. And then phone calls just start coming in, and I have to take them. I have to, address these issues. And sometimes it can take the entire day. There was one day where I had 85 phone calls for a situation. Yeah, that was a fun day. So like I said, I have to address those issues. Sometimes they can be quick and easy, and then there's other times like today where I literally had a line of managers going out my office. I had 3 of them there, but you know what? I enjoy that because they come in, they see me, we sit down, we chat. Sometimes I catch up with them, and then they go on their merry way, and
Yeah.
they come in for candy.
Oh, so you have lured them in there with snacks.
Well, I do have candy in there, but I have ibuprofen and Tylenol on my desk for them, and I have snacks in my drawers as well. Because I know that when I was a manager, there would be times when I would be going, and I wouldn't have time to eat. So if they ever have those experiences, they know that I have something there. And I also have a manager who is medically fragile, where sometimes her sugar drops, and I have those snacks there specifically for her in case she needs them, and she knows they're there.
Yeah. Sounds like what a lot of teachers do, where they keep a drawer full of stuff because you can't teach a child who's hungry. You can't expect a manager to be focused and working if their blood sugar level is dropping or if they're hungry,
Yep.
or if they just need a little chocolate or a little sugar just to kind of make them feel a
Yep.
little bit better. Um,
Exactly.
so, but I think the nature of the work that you do, unfortunately, is sort of a constant stream of potential interruptions. Um, so that obviously creates some challenges, but it sounds like you have some strategies
Hmm.
where you kind of tell folks, thanks, but no thanks.
Hmm.
Please go away. What happens though, like on a day where there's 80 some odd phone calls and there's no way that you could even implement the strategies that you have? Do you need to take that work home with you? Can you leave it and come back to it?
So sometimes I do take the work home with me. It really depends on the day. It really depends on how I'm feeling afterwards. It depends on the work that I need to get done. It depends on what the day was like. Because quite honestly, sometimes if I have a day where I needed to do 85 phone calls, probably not bringing the work home with me. It's going to stay, theoretically, it stays at work. I always bring my laptop home in case I have to go in for a third shift. That way I have it with me so I can do work on third shift. But there's sometimes where I'm burnt by the time I get home, and I need to not do anything that pertains to work.
Yeah. Well, and you have two young children who are very active.
Yes, I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old, and we're doing events, we're doing activities 3 nights a week now. So that's a little something in there too. But I can't do projects at home because I'm too easily distracted.
Hmm.
Like even like working from home. I don't like working from home. I like working in my office. It's just a different environment for me. It does better for me.
So how did you do during COVID? Oh, were you still managing a home
I
at
was,
that point?
yeah, I was managing a group home during COVID. That really was not fun. I had to do everything online. I was not in the home. I'm the kind of person where I have control issues, where I need to be touching stuff, I need to be feeling stuff, I need to be seeing it. And I couldn't see my guys. I wasn't allowed at the house because I was not working directly with them. So I did what I could online, but otherwise they made like exceptions and stuff then because the company put people into 24-hour lockdown shifts.
Oh,
So it was different. It was not as productive um, as I would have liked it to be. But they also didn't give us laptops to work from home. They didn't really give us the resources.
yeah, that makes it much more challenging, especially if you don't have those things at home. And there's certain things that are almost virtually impossible to do
Yep.
on a smartphone. Um,
Yep.
so when you said like you need to touch things and you need to be with things, have you discovered that that's part of your strategy for being able to get stuff done?
Um, Possibly, like if I know that licensing is coming up and I know that I have a really good manager who's prepping for the licensing, I still have to go up and see everything because it's peace of mind for me. Even though I'm sure it's there, I have to see it.
So how do you find that balance between I need to touch this, I need to see this, and that other person recognizing that you're not necessarily checking up on them, you're doing what helps you keep your balance.
I'm very open, upfront, and honest with them. I will tell them, I'll give them a list. You need this, this, and this. And they're like, okay, I did that. I will respond back to them and say, all right, that's great. I'm still going to come up and check because if I don't see it, if I don't touch it, it's not there. And they're very understanding of that.
So you've explained this is part of the way that I have to work and they're able to work with that. And I suspect they all have kind of their own strategies too. Hopefully most of them work in balance with yours.
Oh, yeah, they're all very good. They're all very understanding. And I'm upfront and honest with my boss, with my colleagues, with even my managers. Because one of the things that I've noticed too is that I am loud, which is a sign of ADHD, and I can talk fast and I can come off as mean and harsh. So I tell people I'm not mad, I'm not yelling, I'm not upset. This is just how I am. And I will say that sometimes, like in a manager meeting, or if I'm on the phone with them, or whatever it may be, and they're really good.
So if somebody needs somebody as a cheerleader on the sidelines at a sporting event, you're their person.
Yes. Yep.
So I'm sure
Absolutely.
your children, that's my mother. Everyone knows that's my mother. She's the one over there.
My son probably ignores me at his football games.
Well, yeah, you would probably have to, but I suspect that you are probably part of the loudest
Hmm.
cheerleading group over there.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of cheerleaders, do you have anybody that you would say has been a mentor or a cheerleader or somebody who's offered you some guidance or ideas or a safe landing place?
Like, what do you mean by safe landing place?
Well,
Like,
sometimes I think when folks are neurodiverse, there's certain environments that don't work really well for them or that they don't feel comfortable in. And then it sort of sets the stage for some of their less desirable traits to sort of be exacerbated.
um, I would I would have to say, for like the safe landing place and all that, definitely my managers, like they get it where if I'm stressed out and stuff is like popping off, they know they're good with it. But just being able to go somewhere and just decompress and like just like then I have a few people at work who I can do that with, and just like let it all out sort of thing. And then my neighbor is pretty good with it too.
Okay. So tell me um, something that you're looking forward to.
Something that I'm looking forward to. Probably time off because it just gives me a moment to not do anything. And I've noticed that because I'm always going, 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 I don't really take time to just not do anything. And honestly, quiet. I don't have a lot of quiet in my life, and I can be overstimulated sometimes, I've noticed, and I just want some quiet in my house sometimes. So I plan on taking some time off when my kids are in school so I can just enjoy my quiet house by myself and
Mhm.
do what I want and not have other noises because the other noises sometimes it's just it can be too much, like the dog barking and then my daughter asking for all these demands when she gets home from school and then the phone ringing and then my son talking and just being obnoxious because he knows I'm on the phone or whatever it may be.
Teenager.
Preteen, yes, he'll be 13 in May. So
Yeah, yeah. So it could it could get worse before it gets better, but eventually he'll
get
be a
worse.
grown-up person that you hopefully like.
I
Um,
like him now when he's sleeping. no, he's no, he's they're both really good kids. They're really
well,
good.
I
But I
think
can go ahead.
energy wise, it sounds like they've got a lot going on. They like to keep they keep moving
Yes, they
kind
do.
of and moving around you. So you've described a few things I think that I would probably hypothesize might fit this, but I'm going to let you answer the question. What do you think is your superpower?
My superpower. I'm well. My superpower multitasking and getting multiple things done at once. Like yesterday, I was getting supper ready to go. I was whipping up chocolate chip muffins with my daughter, and then I was talking to one of my managers on the phone all simultaneously. I'm very good at multitasking with that sort of thing. Thinking very quickly on my feet is another thing that I have to do. And working in or being in emergent situations or um like medical situations for work. Like we had a situation on Saturday where, and I'm good at thinking on my feet quickly. We had a situation on Saturday where one of the gentlemen who I support, we were at a birthday party. He started to experience um, chest pain. And so I had to act quickly. So we were downstairs in the basement. I instructed the manager. I said, "Get him in that. Give me that wheelchair. We're going to get him in the wheelchair. We're going to bring him upstairs and call 911 because I didn't want the EMTs coming downstairs and upsetting the whole room of people. And nobody in that room knew what was going on because of how the whole situation was handled.
Yeah. Well, you did um stuff with the ambulance crew. I can't remember. Are you an EMT?
I was an EMT, but I don't have my certification anymore.
Yeah, but some of that knowledge does not go away, right?
No, it doesn't go away. Nope. It stays with me, which helps me.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think, when it's embedded in there, it's helpful because then you don't have to, when the situation gets like that, you don't have to think. You know how you just know what to act. It comes
Exactly.
second nature.
Yep.
Um, I suspect that it made other people calmer too. Like the people who kind of knew what was going on were like, okay, it's okay because she's got it.
I think it definitely helped the manager, but like huge shout out to that one because the paramedic, they're asking me for the person's demographics and I'm like, I can bring it up on my phone. I got to do this. Give me a second. And I'm trying to do all that. And the manager goes, "Oh, I have this in the van. Remember you had me put it in there?" And I'm like, "Wow, I am so smart. Go grab that, please."
You're
So
you're you're smarter than you realize. Yeah.
I forgot the van was there. So kudos to me and huge kudos to them.
Yeah. So besides getting everyone out of the house, off to work and off to school and having the house to yourself, and having it be quiet, what do you do to relax and restore?
I go to the bookstore and I walk around because I love books. I will also go for a pedicure once in a while. And sometimes I will just go for a drive by myself, just to be alone, just to get the quiet. But my favorite one is the bookstore. I like walking around and feeling the books, looking at them, getting a good deal. Sometimes I'll also go shopping to like Kohl's by myself because if I bring my daughter, I spend more money than I want to. She's a little fashionista.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, so, but you had mentioned earlier you can hyper focus on books. So when you get in the bookstore, how many hours are you there?
I may be there. Well, it depends. Like it depends on how much time I have. So maybe 45 minutes because after a certain point, I just start to get done with it. Like I don't know if I become overstimulated or what, or if they don't have good deals. And I'll only get the books if it's a good deal and I know it's something that's on my to be read list or something that I've been waiting for. But if it's something that I haven't really heard about, I'm like, eh. So I really like to go look for when they have the buy one get one 50% off, particularly if it's for something that I do want to read. But I'll also go shopping for like my mom, and picking her up books because she is, I think she's 68 now, but she watched my daughter after she retired, up until she started kindergarten. And I'm in the mindset that after a certain point, children need to start taking care of their parents. So if she ever asks something of me, I do it without giving it a second thought.
Yeah, well, and that I'm sure she's very, very appreciative of that. I think
She
sometimes
is.
folks are like, "Yeah, I got what I needed from you. I'll get back to you later when I need something else," and that's what they do with their parents. And yeah,
No, that's not how it is with me. Like I know she likes particular fish from Market 32 when it goes on sale, so I will pick that up for her or on her wish list on Amazon. If I see books on there, I'll just buy them and send it to her. And like I pay for her and my dad's cell phone just because it's they do so much for me that it's the least that I can do.
wow, you're a good daughter. Can I adopt you?
No, my mother would not allow that. Sorry.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
All
one you could adopt though. She's only 6.
right. Yeah, but she's not gonna bring me fish from the market or buy me books.
No, she's not.
She's gonna be asking me to buy her some kind of outfit, I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yep, go to TJ Maxx.
Although I like a good outfit shopping opportunity and I like some frilly stuff. So, maybe I should take her shopping one day, but with your money. Um, so what kinds of things do you think that folks that are neurotypical could do that would make the world an easier place for folks that are neurodiverse to operate in?
I think they just need to be understanding of like certain things that we do that we may not always see that we do. Like when we have meltdowns, why are we having a meltdown? Or if we're getting hyper focused on something, or if we're short with them when they're trying to talk to us about something. Just like, you got to understand maybe that person's overstimulated at that time. Maybe that's why they don't have the patience for it. And that happens at work sometimes where with me where I have to look at the person I'm talking to and I'm like, I'm overstimulated right now. I'm in a mood and I don't want to talk about this. I'll come back later, which is another thing that I've gotten really good at. And understanding that if we interrupt when you're talking, it's because we're so excited. We don't mean to, but we're relating to it and we're excited about it.
And, I think a number of the individuals that you support are also neurodiverse. I mean, as you had mentioned earlier, they have intellectual disabilities, but some of them do kind of operate in the world in similar ways,
Yep.
to the way that you do. Do you think that you are better at helping the people that are their direct line supports to understand how to support them?
I think they're pretty good. I think the staff who I oversee, they're good with supporting them, but there have been a few situations where someone has been, maybe overstimulated or upset where I've had to chat with that person, the individual, and being like, hey, if this is going on, you got to tell us this. Or if you're feeling this way, you have to tell us this, okay? There was one individual who I supported who lives independently, and I can't remember what we were talking about. But I was just going through stuff with him because I could relate with it. And he's like, yep, yep, yep. I'm like, all right, we good now? He goes, yep, we're good now. So, um, he's a good person. He's a good
And
guy.
then later told you that he had no idea what you were talking about.
No, because then I follow up with him. I'll be like, do you understand what I just asked you? Do you understand what I was just talking to you about?
So I think you probably connect with him in a way that maybe other people don't necessarily, because you kind of understand some of how the world is impacting him. Yeah. So what kinds of things do you do to honor yourself and your uniqueness?
I honor the fact that when I get hyper focused on something, I'm hyper focused on it, and that's it. And I just embrace it. But I also know that like when it comes to getting tasks done, if I don't have enough time to do it, then I'll work on smaller things, and I recognize that. But that's like really it. But I've also recognized too because I know that with ADHD, people they get hyper fixated on something and they want to do it. And I have these great videos online of these craft ideas I want to do. And I'm like, I want to do this. And then I'll send it to my neighbor and she's like, you're not going to do this. You're not going to finish this. You're going to start it and not finish it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So then I don't pursue it anymore because she calls me out on it.
So you have somebody who you sort of, here's my great idea for this really big craft, and you run it past her and she goes, no, you're not that's too much. Because if I remember correctly, she's a big crafter. So she knows when you're getting it over your head.
Yep, she does. And 10 times out of 10, I'm getting in over my head when I send her stuff and I don't follow through with it. Sometimes she'll be on board with it. Like there was the last year where I had this great idea to make this coat rack and a sign for my other neighbor. And I'm like, this is great. We're going to do this, this, and this. And she's like, you mean I'm going to do this, this, and this? And I'm like, probably yes.
I'll just direct it.
Yeah, I'm good at organizing stuff and delegating stuff. So one of the things that I did was I volunteered one of my managers to sign up for the dance committee at work. And she yelled at me about it. And then she's like, no, this is a good idea. And then I did the same thing to her last year for the Friendsgiving that we did. It was my dream. She brought it to light and I appreciated that. And I gave her the credit for it.
So that sounds like that's another one of your strategies, though, like brainstorming ideas, but knowing that I'm probably not going to get from the beginning all the way to the end. So I'm going to find another person who's good at the other part.
Yep, that's about right. I do that with my husband a lot. Like during COVID, I said to myself, I'm like, I want a different fire pit. So I went out and I got the stuff, and I didn't finish it. It's a beautiful fire pit now, though. He did a great job finishing it.
Oh, I'm sure he did after you directed where everything went. So
he took it away from me.
We have about a minute left. Are there any other things though that you think that folks should know, either in relationship to the way that you're operating in the world, or in relationship to the way that other folks who have some similar challenges or similar characteristics that you do, that people should keep in mind?
I think they just need to recognize those characteristics and learn how to help adapt with them, because it's probably easier for them to adapt to it than for us to adapt, because that's just the way our brain is wired. Like there's no changing it. We can do certain coping mechanisms, but you really can't.
Yeah. I think the part where you've recognized some of the places where you hit a roadblock, but you're vocalizing that roadblock now.
Yep.
I would suspect in the past, if people interrupted you or you were overstimulated and then you wandered off, or maybe, got a little bit louder, or maybe said something kind of snippy, that they took it differently. But now you've given them the ground.
I tell them.
I need a timeout. Yeah, I need a timeout. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I very much appreciate you spending this time with me. We have to wrap up, which 30 minutes always goes like super fast. But I'm very thankful for you giving us some insight into the way that you operate. And I'm confident that there are lots of other folks out there who have similar things going on for them. And hopefully they've gained some strategies as well from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. And so we're going to wrap up. I thank everyone for listening, and hopefully you will join us again in the future for our next episode. Thank you for listening to Universally Unique, exploring the neurodiverse world of the extraordinary. Join me, Dr. Lori, on Transformation Talk Radio every second and fourth Monday at 11:30 Pacific Time, as we continue to explore navigating a world not designed for diversity. For advocacy and support for individuals with disabilities, let's connect. Learn more about consulting and life coaching at notoholisticconsulting.com.